properties of vector addition here. The first one is that vector addition is commutative. And by commutative, what we mean is that the order in which you add two vectors doesn't affect the result or the sum. So to illustrate this, I've just got two vectors over here. I've got a blue vector and I've got a red vector. And if I take the red vector and I add the blue vector to it, so I place them tip to tail, so I do red plus blue, the result is this nice little purple vector. Let's get this lined up here. Okay? So if I do red plus blue, that is my resultant vector right here. We'll label it R. Okay? If I do this in the other order and I take my blue one first and then I add my red one to it, the resultant vector is exactly the same. Okay? We'll call this one R2. So those two vectors are the same even though we have added the red vector and the blue vector in the opposite order. Okay? So vector addition is commutative. Vector addition also follows the associative law, which means that if I'm adding three vectors together, it doesn't matter how I group the order of those additions. So I can add, if I want to add the red, the blue, and the orange one together, I can add the red and the blue one first, and then add the orange, or I can add the blue and the orange one together first, and then add the red one on afterwards. So let's see if this works here. If I take my red, and I add on the blue, once again, I get this purple vector. And if I take the result of adding those two, red plus blue gave me that purple. So now if I just work with the purple vector, and I add on my orange vector, I get this lovely black vector. Okay? So that's what I get from adding all three of those together. Well, let's do this in a different order. Let's take the blue one first and add the orange one to it. So blue plus orange gives me this yellow one. And then I want to do red plus, well, the result of adding the blue and the orange, which is red plus that yellow one there. Do I get the same resultant? Well, let's see. Let's see if this black one actually fits in over there. Yeah, it does. Okay, so if I have three vectors to add together, I always add two of them together first, then I add on the third one. And it doesn't matter which ones I add together first and which one I add on as the third one, because vector addition is both associative and commutative.